All right, what's going on, fight fans? I am the one, the only, the WOOKIE. Just obviously finishing up the McGregor fight. Kind of wanted to get your guys' reaction in all this as we kind of sit here, wait for the stream, wait for the fucking stream to come on in, guys. If you want to call in, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put it in the chat. And you guys can come on in. Remember, go into the waiting room. That's where you need to put yourself. In the waiting room, I'll bring you guys in one at a time. Was it a great fight? I don't know. I found myself halfway through the fight really kind of bored. Conor, I think, kind of gassed himself. What do you think? Round 3? Ish, Conor gassed himself. It was over. I see a lot of you guys in the chat now. Yes, Alexa, there is a Sasha fan. I watched it, and boy, am I glad I didn't pay for it. 50-0. I know everybody's excited. I wanted it to be over. I wanted a definitive finish, and I did not get a definitive finish, which is what kind of upset me in this whole thing. We start out really strong out of the gate. Oh, Conor broke the rules so many times. Yes, sir, he did. But, yeah, guys, if you want in on the conversation, like I said, go to the Discord server. Plop yourselves in the waiting room, and I'll bring you guys in. But really disappointed. Really not happy with the fight. Conor came out of the gate steaming. He was using kind of this weird, I don't even know how to explain it, this like Cobra style, where he was keeping Floyd, and Floyd basically waited it out. Floyd let Conor be the kind of bratty child and wear himself out, and sure enough, come round 10, he did. It was really over. I would say round 4. I know a lot of people were saying round 3. Conor won round 1 and 2. I think it's debatable. I think Conor might have won 1, 2, and 3. But, I mean, really, you could put it either way, to be honest with you. You could say Conor won up to 4. Either way, it didn't matter. Like, let's face it, this fight was not going to be this fight was not going to be scored fairly. No matter which way you put it, no matter what happened. If this would have won a full 12 rounds, and let's even say Conor was ahead on points, there's no way that Conor was going to win this without a knockout. That's the full honesty of the matter. Conor needed to come into this fight knowing there was no way he was going to win without a knockout. It sucks, but it's the case. It's the fact of the matter. What's going on, Flying Objects? But let's bring in Scotty. See what Scotty had to feel about it as I put myself in here too, because, I got to do that. What's going on, Scott?
Hey, how's it going, Wookie?
Well, another day, another dollar, my man.
Yep. So the real winner tonight was the IRS.
Bullshit.
To me, it was the IRS.
Well, yeah, maybe Conor will pay his taxes, but Lord knows money ain't paying his.
Yeah.
Money hasn't paid taxes since 2001. That's the last time he paid taxes. He owes so much fucking money to the IRS right now.
$22 million, right?
22. Well, after tonight, after a $300 million payday today, what does that go up to? You know what I mean? He owes 20. He supposedly owes $22 million after a $300 million payday. You know what I mean? How much does that go up to?
Well, if the IRS they take about half of it, right? Roughly?
No, they got to take less than half.
What, 25, 50? I don't know how much they take.
I bet you they take about. I don't know. It's probably less than that. He probably gets tax deductions for all sorts of shit. So either way, taxes. No, IRS is not winning tonight.
Well then, if the IRS didn't win, then Periscope won. So
Periscope definitely won tonight.
Anyone that paid $100 to the fight is a clown. So.
Wrong, race fan rocks. He also he's gonna have to pay American taxes. He's gonna get what they're gonna call an arena tax. which means here's how it's going to work as far as taxes. Yeah, Ginge, you need to go into the waiting room. I'm in general, and in fact, I'm going to move myself into a locked room. You, as the viewer, need to go into the waiting room, and I'll bring you guys in one at a time. That way, you know, I can see how many people are in there. You know, because if nobody's in there, me and Scott might talk for a little bit longer. If 5 people are in there, I'll get Scott's view, and we'll move on. You know, that's kind of how these things go. But regardless, yeah, how this is going to work as far as taxes go, and this is like the dumbest thing. I can't believe we're talking about fucking taxes on a show that's mainly supposed to be for boxing. But the way this is going to work, Conor's going to have to pay. We call it here in Wisconsin an arena tax. I don't know what they're going to call it down there. They could call it an arena tax. They could call it a you're rich as fuck tax. I don't know. You're rich as fuck. So pay up. But he's going to have to pay a tax to the state of Nevada. He's also going to end up having to pay a tax to more than likely the IRS itself. And then he's going to have to pay a tax probably to Ireland as well. So he's going to get taxed 3 times on $30 million. I'm sure he's going to be okay either way.
Yeah, his son will be okay.
Yeah, his son's not going hungry anytime soon. But what did you think? I know a lot of people. I'm in kind of a Twitter war right now. I want to know a lot what you guys thought about the finish. Ref getting in the way, stopping the fight. I want to know what you guys thought about that whole thing. What did you think, Scott? Since I have you on the line, what do you think?
As far as the ref stopping the fight?
Yeah, as far as the ref stopping the fight.
Conor was gassed. His longest fight in UFC was 25 minutes. And it was about 26, 27 minutes when they stopped the fight. Something like that. Or close to 30 or whatever the hell it was.
So are you okay with him stopping the fight? Is basically my question.
He was done. It was either that or he falls over.
He needed to fall. In my humble opinion, he needed to fall over. But people paid $100 for this fight. Conor McGregor needed to get put on his ass. That is when you know the fight's done. The fight is done when Conor McGregor's on his butt. Or on his back, staring at the lights. That is a knockout. This is why boxing is failing right now. I watched 2 fights tonight. Was it 2? Yeah, well, at least 2 fights tonight. Get split up by referees. Split up by referees in a combat sport. 2 fights split up by referees. I'm sorry, for me, that's unacceptable. Now, there's obviously a point in the UFC where they stop the fight. This person's not coming back. The other person has the upper hand. However, in boxing, it's not the same. You know, it's not a guy on top of you beating the fucking piss out of your face. You know, that's not how boxing is. And here's the thing about this whole thing. And Mike, I see you in the chat. He may have been winded. But again, Mike, this is a combat sport.
Yeah.
It depends on which F word you're talking about, OMT, brother. And the fight that I'm in right now, and it's not really a fight. I guess you would consider it a gentleman's quarrel, is the guy says to me, so, this doesn't mean the ref allows brain damage if it doesn't need to happen. It does. You know, here's the thing. You're getting paid $30 million. At least Conor got paid $30 million. Reportedly, Floyd got paid something in the vicinity of $200 million. If you're getting paid that kind of money, yeah. Like, if you don't want CTE, don't fight. That's the short and skinny in my point of view. I mean, everybody's allowed to their humble opinion, but you charged hardworking Americans $100 and you don't in a boxing match. Why is boxing dying? Because in a boxing match, I did not even get to see somebody get knocked the fuck out. Is that boxing? I remember the good old days of boxing. For all those who want to come at me and say, I don't know boxing, Let me tell you. Let me take you back to a time. I'm trying to think of when it was, what year it was, to a little fight that we know as Holyfield Tyson.
He bit his ear off.
Yeah, he bit his ear off. But like the whole thing is that that's kind of what was my introduction to boxing. Do you know what I mean? That was my introduction to boxing. That's really when I started watching it and started getting into it. However, back in the day, they let you take a guy's head off.
Yeah, they didn't care then. Now they care.
I mean, here's the deal. And all these things with football players and CTE, don't accept the money then. Mike Tyson spoiled you, clearly. Don't accept the money then. Like, here, if you are, the risks. Like, all you got to do is go back 10 years, take a look at Muhammad Ali. That's all you need to know about boxing. Guys, in the chat, I put in the Discord server. Again, if you guys want to join the Discord server, pop on in, hop in the waiting room. All you got to do is click on the waiting room or touch if you're on an Android or Apple device. Touch in the waiting room, and like I said, I will bring you guys in one at a time. Noah, I saw you in here. You owe me a high Jeff Hardy from many moons ago when it comes to a lot of this. I believe you owe me a high Jeff Hardy. So
he owes you a lot of stuff.
So, OMT says Conor broke the rules so many times. Well,
he kind of did, actually.
No, he did. I mean, there were times where I'm like, shit, he's going for a takedown. Like, it literally looked like he was going to suplex him. That's what I thought. There were a couple times where I'm like, oh, Conor's pissed. He's just going to suplex his ass and start beating his face in. I was surprised that Conor, didn't. I thought this was going to turn into a fucking circus.
Well, it almost did.
It was getting close.
Well, the issue is all the outages that people were complaining about. People were
now hold on. No, Noah, you don't get to do it on the actual ropes show because your ass doesn't show up for the actual ropes show. Your ass goes to another stream on the ropes show. Just saying. You think I'm stupid? Like I don't know where you go after everything's all said and done. But continue, Mr. Scott.
Well, there were so many outages that I didn't know how late they were going to have the fight. Because, on the East Coast, it was like, what, freaking almost midnight when the fight started?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I know people in the UK that were watching it, and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. That's ridiculous. I mean, whatever, but people were complaining that they bought it on UFC Fight Pass, which you can order the pay-per-view there. And someone also said they had to order it there and their cable provider. So good luck with that $200 bill for a fight. The fight wasn't bad. I didn't watch all the undercard BS. But.
I watched a lot of the undercard. Like I said, I used to be really into boxing. I did.
Boxing is dead to me.
I used to be super into boxing. I liked watching the fights. Shit, I remember watching boxing on ESPN at like 2 p.m. on Saturday. So
those are the good old days.
Those were the days. That's when when a guy knocked out, he didn't get up after 10. That was a TKO. If the guy couldn't get up after 10, that was a TKO. And then a knockout was a knockout. The guy just was fucking flat on his face, not responding to anyone. I mean, but that's a knockout. You want to know why the UFC is so much popular? Do it the way the UFC does. Let him get knocked down, and if he's not responding at that point, make the decision whether the fight's done or not.
It was Conor did okay. He did pretty good for his first time in a boxing ring.
See, and we're all gonna say, "Oh, Conor did good. Conor did pretty good for his first time in a boxing ring." Yeah, except Floyd basically waited 6 rounds to do anything
because he knew he was going to get gassed out.
Right. So all Floyd did was wait for Conor to get gassed. So all Floyd did was wait.
He did.
He's got some dude in the back massaging his head. Like, he pays somebody to legit massage his head. My world.
You know what Floyd does, though, when he travels?
What I would do with $300 million.
I would do a lot of things.
First things on the agenda, Japanese hookers. Continue.
No, I'm good with those.
You're good with the Japanese hookers?
I'm not good with those. That's what I meant. Japanese hookers. You don't know what's down below. They might actually be half and half. But Floyd actually, when he flies, when he travels, his bag's going in a separate plane.
I'm sure they do.
I mean, that's ridiculous. But I mean,
is he smart? Is he smart as fuck? Yes and no. I mean, okay. Here's the deal. I think Conor in a lot of this, you could see his hesitation to really come in. And that's going to be from MMA, because if he misses and he trips and falls, he's fooked, right? He's in trouble. If he trips and falls in MMA, he's in trouble. You know, you don't want to end up on the ground at any time in MMA. Where in boxing, they'd be like, all right, pal, get back up. Like, get back up, homie. Come on.
In the middle part of it, I was hoping for Beach Ball Mania to run wild in the middle of that fight.
Yeah, with all those millionaires in the crowd. I wonder what a ticket was going for.
So Enzo paid $10,000.
$10,000? That doesn't seem too bad. And that was probably for nosebleeds, too.
No, that was front, floor seats. He was sitting near LeBron. LeBron was there too. So.
It was only $10,000 for seats.
What do you mean only?
Dude, this is supposedly the fight of the fucking century. Only $10,000, dude. They paid fucking Mayweather like $200 million.
Oh, I know.
Where is that $200 million coming from? That's what I want to know.
Pay-per-view buys.
Fuck that. Did you buy it?
Hell no.
Neither did I. I'm just saying, like, where's this pay-per-view? Everyone's like, pay-per-view buys. Where's this pay-per-view money coming from?
Oh, there's idiots that bought it.
Oh, I'm sure there is. At the same time, like, I thought about it. I sat down and I thought long and hard. I was going to do it. I was going to pull that trigger. And then I did.
Wow, Wookie would have been mad.
I'm like, no. I was like, I can find a fucking somewhere. Because I was going to pay it and I was going to stream it until I started getting rumblings of everybody else who was streaming it, getting copyright strikes. Even if they weren't showing footage, copyright strikes. Immediate copyright strikes. So, yeah, didn't do that. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. As soon as I saw that, and I'm like, oh, yeah, we're not doing this. So, yeah.
It was whatever. The fight was whatever. I'm glad it's over. Everybody can move on with their life.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, am I glad it's over? Sure. To be honest with you, I didn't have a dog in the fight. You know what I mean? I don't like McGregor and I don't like Mayweather. The only dog I really had in the fight is I don't like Mayweather more.
He beats women.
Yeah, he beats his wife and kids. So I don't like Mayweather more than I don't like McGregor, because McGregor just runs his fucking mouth. Dude, the fight wasn't miserable. Guys, that's boxing today. Like, that's just how boxing is. Like, in boxing standards, that was actually a pretty good fucking fight.
Boxing's still dead to me. But...
Oh, boxing's beyond dead. I see Mike Ward in here saying it's among the biggest pay-per-view buys for any fight in history.
Nope.
You're saying no.
McGregor Diaz was bigger.
Bigger than this fight tonight?
It's probably pretty damn close if it's not beating.
I would tend to believe you, Mike. The only thing that I'm thinking, and feel free to call in if you have some info. There's the link. Join the Discord. Come on into the waiting room. I'll bring you in. But I have preliminary numbers. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the preliminary number. I didn't look for it, so I couldn't tell you if this one outscored McGregor Diaz or not. So maybe in Ireland. It might have. I have no idea. It's going to be tough to say until 24 hours.
Yeah, because it takes a while, and then I'm sure a lot of people. I mean, I couldn't find any of legal streams on YouTube because they were shutting that shit down.
See, here's the deal, Claudio. He's a boxer. He beats everyone. If this was an MMA ring, and there's a reason it wasn't in an MMA ring, because Floyd's fucking, I mean, Floyd's old. Let's put it that way. In fighting years, Floyd's old. So
Floyd would have died. In
that was, and the age gap was the big thing that I was pointing to. Can Floyd continue to fight at the peak where he was with his age? That was what I was concerned about, was the age. You know, because we've all seen it. If you guys like to watch fighting, we've all seen it. Whether you're an MMA fan or a boxing fan, sometimes these guys just push the limits too much, and they don't know when their time is done. And they get into that one fight, and it happens a lot more, I would say, in MMA than it does in boxing. But they reach that limit, and then there's a mass drop-off. We saw it with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar had about 5 fights in him. Then he was toast. We just saw this drop-off come. And Velasquez, like, literally looked so dominant over him. What are you doing?
I want to talk to
Why don't you go help your sister?
Mom is feeding her.
Okay, go help Mom. But,
how's the baby?
What's that?
How's the baby?
Baby's doing well. Baby's doing well. So if you guys are confused, click the 3 bars in your top left corner if you're on mobile. And that will give you the rooms that I have available. If not, and you're on PC, you should be able to see it. You should be able to see me and Scott in here right now. So, see, is boxing more respected? I don't know. Boxing has more heritage. Boxing's got a longer lineage, but is boxing more respected? Isn't boxing considered one of the most jilted sports of all time? One of the most crooked sports of all time?
Yep. It is.
I mean, is that something you really want to respect? I don't know. Conor came out hot. I had the feeling he was going to come out hot, and that was the end of it. So
he did good in the first couple of rounds. It looked like he was going. He was trying to knock him out early. It looked like, to me anyway. That's the only way he was going to win. He wasn't winning by points or anything else. So I don't blame him.
Let's see. Claudio says McGregor is younger, fights with his entire body, and went out of gas before a man with 40 that fights with his hands only and retired. I don't understand the statement. If you could explain a little bit more. I guess I'm confused as to what, I mean, there's an age gap. I don't think it's crazy to think that big of an age gap, 10 years, could play in McGregor's favor. I mean, is that so crazy to think?
Not
I don't
really.
think so. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I am crazy. Don't you guys love being in a hurricane and Wi-Fi being slow? I guess I've never had that situation. I'm never in a hurricane. Okay, but right now you're asking people if you take wrestling as a sport, people will laugh in your face. I guess it depends on which wrestling we're talking about. Are we talking about like WWE wrestling? Would I consider that a sport? No. It's not a sport. It is a form of entertainment. But like the wrestling that you see in the Olympics and shit like that, like Greco-Roman and collegiate wrestling, yeah, that shit's a sport, dude. I did that shit for 2 years, and it wasn't fun. None of it was fun. So, I mean, that shit's legit. But is WWE a, quote-unquote sport? I guess by definition alone, because they are tracked wins and losses. I guess, to a degree. But beyond that, is it a sport? And it's too rigged. I would think so. My biggest question is when is Conor Floyd Part 2? That's what I want to know. There's gonna be a part 2.
No.
No, come on, dude. This ended kind of indecisively. They're gonna call it a technical knockout, but you know that there's gonna be Conor fans, and Conor himself is gonna be like, "You didn't put me on my ass, therefore there's doubt." And if this had as many pay-per-view buys and did very well, and they offer these two another payday like they did, come on. You don't think Conor's gonna take a $30 million payday again?
I mean, I think he would. I mean, anyone in their right mind would. I mean, if I had another chance at $30 million, hell yeah, I would.
I mean,
But,
I don't think anybody's going to turn. I don't think it's over, Claudio. I think this is far from over. I think we're going to have a part 2. And
you think it should be in an I want to see him in an MMA ring and see what happens.
I don't think you're going to get him in an MMA ring because Floyd won't take, $10 million as payment. Unless it's $100 million, I don't think he'll take it.
Maybe you should stop being a little bitch.
Well, that's how Floyd does it. Dylan, Mayweather won, according to them, by technical knockout, which was it was pussy as fuck. I didn't care for it. I wanted to see somebody hit Matt. I mean, that's really the only way you're going to determine a winner. Like I said, if McGregor's ass hits the mat, and then the ref decided, okay, that's enough. Like he's gassed, he's not with it, up in the head. Fine by me. Call the fight then, but don't while he's still standing. I think you took money out of the pockets of people tonight. I did not enjoy that. So, let me see. They should go in a cage. Won't happen. The sports part of WWE is who can suck Vince the best. That in itself is a sport. So that's the sport. I think McGregor is going to go to boxing because they make way more money and he likes money. And I can't blame him. You know what I mean? Why blame him? Fuck it. If he made $30 million fucking dollars tonight, I would not be surprised if he handed over the belt and was like, here you go. Name recognition alone. I don't know, but the question is, can he cross over? He kind of proved tonight he can, but he needs to heavily work on his conditioning. He was not ready to go 12 rounds. He was ready to go 5, which is a standard, MMA fight, but he was not prepared to go 12, which is what overly happened.
Yeah, that was pretty evident. He looked... I thought Floyd was going to knock him out.
So quicker. Hold on. OMT, brother. OMT says it's over. Floyd's 50-0. He's retired. He was retired before. So why is that going to change anything? He was retired before this fight. He came out of retirement for this fight. You think they offer him another $300 million or $200 million payday? He's not going to take it? I think that's ludicrous. Ludicrous. Boxing needs one of these a year to stay relevant. What's good? And the only person that's more polarizing actually, I'm sorry. There's only one person in the boxing community that's polarizing at all, and that's Mayweather. At all. Nobody else. I can guarantee you, any casual out there, if I asked them to name one boxer beyond Mayweather, I don't know if they can name somebody from this decade.
I could. A couple.
I know you probably could, and I can't.
Triple G and Canelo is boxing's biggest fight. It's bigger than Mayweather and McGregor, possibly. That fight's soon. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll wait for the numbers to come out tomorrow. I'm not going to look them up now, but yeah, I don't think this is over. I think we're at bare minimum going to have a part 2, if not a part 3. And yes, McGregor, let's be honest, in a cage, Mayweather doesn't stand a prayer.
He would kill him.
Over and over, McGregor got behind him, which is a fatal flaw in MMA. So it's not, but you'll never see that man near an MMA cage. So he's a boxer. If Conor accepts another boxing fight, he needs to be stripped of the UFC title. It's bullshit he doesn't defend it this year. You can consider
fighting again.
Well, you can consider it bullshit. At the same time, this brought great publicity to the UFC, And a lot of people out there who watch this are gonna say, yeah, Conor did great. I don't think Conor did that well. I think Conor didn't come out with the correct game plan. He looked a little CM Punkish in his first MMA debut. He came out of the gates raring to go and got caught. You know, and then all of a sudden, I would say in the middle of round 1, Conor realized he needed to go a little. He needed to turn down the gas a little bit. So I think that was it. I just think he forgot what fight he was in. You know, over and over I saw Conor try to take Mayweather down, which I was like, one of these times he's just gonna do it. Like, he totally forgot where he was on multiple occasions. So
I was waiting for him to try to choke him out at one point. I'm like, just choke him out already. Just do it and get it over with, and everybody can drive home safely.
When you're used to getting $100 million a fight, why the fuck would you take 90% less? I agree with that to a degree. But see, I think if this was offered to McGregor for less money, he probably would have taken it, because he's a little bit obsessed with being the best. Just a hair. Just a hair. All right, Smart Buster, you're out of here, pal. Have fun being blocked. I hope you enjoy it. Stop spamming my chat. Conor had me totally convinced he wouldn't gas out. That's the biggest letdown for me. Well, it's a much longer fight, man. It's a much longer fight. Conor will only fight box versus Paulo. I'm going to butcher this. I hate this name. I'm sorry. He's Brazilian, too, I think. Maguinali. I butchered that so bad. Google him. Just Google him. Floyd was playing with him for the first couple rounds, then decided to take him out. Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, I saw that when he was coming out. I'm like, shit, he's gonna gas him. That was the whole thing in my head, is he's gonna fucking gas his ass, and he's gonna let Conor be the bratty child, and then he's gonna decide to turn up the power, because for the first 4 rounds, or more like 2.5, 3 rounds, his gloves were in front of his face most of the time. He knew he had to protect the head, because if Conor were to get close, it was a danger to him. So all he did, made sure his head was protected, and let Conor throw a temper tantrum on the outside of the ring. You know, and then he just waited for Conor to gas himself out and fall asleep. Pretty much was the short and skinny of that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. You got any other things you wanna get in here, Mr. Scott? I mean, it's good to be back. For those of you wondering, yes. If you don't follow me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, yes, little Livy is home. I'm sorry, I wrote it wrong, but it's 2 former. Oh, it didn't look like you wrote it wrong, but I mean that don't mean shit. Because I can't pronounce his name anyways. So I know his name's Paulo, and that's all I called him, because I can't pronounce his last name, because his last name's garbage. I think he's Brazilian. If you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's Brazilian.
Don't even know who you're talking about. So.
Yeah, it was just look at the chat. I just wanted to drop and tell you I might not be here for Raw because of the hurricane. That's kind of understandable. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, if you have a hurricane, dude, you might not be here for Raw. That makes sense that you wouldn't, make it to Raw in the middle of a hurricane. I don't know what else to say to that.
There's nothing else you get.
There's nothing else, honestly, to say. I don't know where Luke is.
I think Conor will fight again. He will face Nate Diaz again. That fight will happen again.
You're talking MMA, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
He won't box again.
He'll box again. I don't doubt that. He'll box again. I fully believe he will. But, he's got to get. I mean, he's either going to have to hand the titles back or he's going to have to go back to MMA at some point in time. I'm just hoping paying so much attention to boxing didn't ruin his MMA.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
I mean, obviously he had the right thoughts, because like I said, there's a couple times where he got his arms wrapped around and he's just punching him in the back of the dome. Durr. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna punch you. Oh, that's right. I'm not really supposed to do that. Oh, well, that happens. I mean, you had to know this fight was gonna not be strict to boxing rules.
One person said on Facebook, the only way McGregor was winning was if Steve Harvey was announcing.
Well, I don't think that's that crazy. But I'm just thinking, even let's say, okay, let's just go ahead and say McGregor fully went all 12 rounds. He had a decent, he had decent points where you could physically tell, okay, McGregor probably has this fight won. You know what I mean?
In the first 6 rounds, if you would have ended it after 6 rounds, McGregor won the fight.
Sure.
Easily.
But I'm saying let's say we go the full 12 and McGregor kept that same pace. He won 3, dropped 2. You know what I mean? Let's just say that's what it was. So let's say, to the home audience, it's clear he won the fight. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no way 3 boxing judges, if it went to decision, would have given McGregor that fight. End of story.
Oh, I agree.
End of story. Those judges, height nor hair. I mean, close. Conor needed a knockout. That was the only way he was winning this fight. End of story.
Okay.
I personally feel that.
And I totally agree with you. There's no way. That was his only shot at winning the fight.
Yeah.
His only shot.
If he did not knock out Mayweather. Oh, is that how you spell it? The other way looked right. He's American? No.
Who is this person?
Look at the chat. See, I thought I would have spelled it the other way, but I spell things phonetically. So, Paulie, I thought his name was Paulo.
Oh, Paulie. Oh, the guy that was the spy. Are you referring to the spy? Is that who this person?
I don't. What do you mean the spy?
Okay, so Mayweather, McGregor.
Wasn't it McGregor's sparring partner?
It was McGregor's sparring partner, but it was somebody hired by Mayweather to spy on McGregor.
Is that one of those stupid conspiracy theories, or?
No, this is legit true. I think it's funny, personally, but that's me.
I think that's a conspiracy theory. I'm not going to read too much into that. But I thought his name was Paulo.
No, it was Paulie, and I can't pronounce his last name. But
his last name's Fucht.
Yeah, his last name's all fucked up.
See, and I'm curious if Conor would have just gone at the same pace that McGregor was. If Conor would have gone at the same pace that Floyd was, where would we have seen this fight? He came out, gassed himself. Where would we have seen this fight go? I'm more interested in that, of where we would have seen the fight go if Conor would have just been like, okay, that's fine. You want to play the game of we're gonna sit here and we're gonna wait, or you're gonna try to gas me out. I'll sit here and I'll conserve as much energy as I possibly can.
That's basically what he did. At least to me, anyway.
What, Conor or?
I think Floyd just waited.
Conor wanted the knockout. That's what he was going
for. Conor wanted the knockout. That's the only way he was winning the fight.
Right, and he knew that. And that's the problem. Because he knew the only way he was winning is by knockout. Because you have 3 boxing judges. There was no way those 3 boxing judges were gonna let McGregor walk out of there the winner by decision. Fuck no. That was not happening. It would have been funny, but no. I mean, literally, Floyd could have not thrown a punch the entire fucking match, and they would have given the decision to Floyd.
Yeah, because they're a bunch of assholes.
Well, no, they're protecting their sport. I wouldn't call them a bunch of assholes, but they're protecting their sport.
Yeah, and there would have been a riot as well.
I don't know about a riot. I mean,
because okay, so if you saw the fight in Australia,
I didn't see a bunch of Nazis out there, but I mean, I guess
I'm just saying, because the Manny Pacquiao fight, he fought some guy in like Australia, and Pacquiao won that fight. Like, I don't know, it was Pacquiao's last fight. If anyone, it was actually on ESPN. No, this was this year.
Oh! I know what fight you're talking about. I thought you were talking about Mayweather Pacquiao.
Oh. Mayweather should have fought Pacquiao like 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, then that's fine. I thought Pacquiao won that fight.
Oh, the one in Australia? Hell yeah, you did.
I thought Pacquiao should have won that fight. Didn't happen because, you know, again, Mayweather has gotten that belt and he does what he does to just hold on to it.
Yeah, he's a little baby.
Whatever. Either way, the whole thing. Yeah, I know exactly which fight you're talking about. That was just a few months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the freaking middle of the afternoon in Australia.
And I forgot who he fought, but they ended up giving the decision to the other guy.
Yeah,
and people were saying that it was clear that Pacquiao won that fight.
Yeah, he definitely did. I watched the whole fight. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. So, I mean, for those who want to tell me boxing isn't crooked, fuck off. Come on, man. Boxing is the most crooked sport in all of sports.
Boxing is a work.
The ref can suck my cock because that was the worst decision made ever. Shouldn't have called it off. Should have kept going until somebody fell down. That's my feeling, like I said. Don't want CTE, don't fucking box. That's my feeling on it. You know, don't get into a fucking combat sport if you don't want CTE. I mean, you're literally in a combat sport.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think Morrow did a good job?
Morrow was great. I love Morrow. He was fine. I didn't hear enough Mamma Mia's, but
I don't think I heard any.
I don't think I heard any either. So,
probably was told, hey, you can't say that.
Don't say Mamma Mia. What, Sophie? Oh, the baby is sleeping. But, guys, I'm going to call it here tonight. We had a blast as always. I don't think there's much left to say. I mean, we pretty much broke down the fight in all of, you know, maybe what, 10 minutes, really. I mean, Connor Connor gassed himself. And Mayweather then just waited, basically 5 rounds, and then started putting on the pressure once he knew he was gassed. So if nobody else is calling in, and I'll give you guys a little opportunity. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm going to post the Discord one last time, and if nobody's getting in here, I think I'm gonna take off. I gotta get some sleep. New baby woes have got me. I thought I'd be a little rusty at this, but the new baby's got me tired.
I'm sure.
Yeah, she's a night owl.
She's a night owl? Aren't they all night
owl? Yes and no. Yes and no. I would beg to differ on Mayweather being the GOAT. I would beg to differ on Floyd Mayweather being the GOAT. What's going on, Gio, dude? That's
in boxing he is. In boxing,
I don't even know if he's the GOAT in boxing, but that's a total. You're talking about times changing. I mean, that's like who's the GOAT in football?
What position?
Just in all of football.
Greatest of all time in football. It pains me to say this, but Tom Brady. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, my mic is broken. Order 1, and it's coming Tuesday. It's wireless. Ooh, how exciting! But like, okay, Tom Brady's an easier one. But like, who's the GOAT in basketball?
I would say, even though I'm a Lakers fan, I would say. So but it's all opinion based.
You would say who?
Jordan.
Jordan. See, some people would say LeBron. Some people would say Kobe. Some people, actually, that's probably it. Well, actually, some people would say Kareem.
Some people would say Giannis Okundo, or the hell his name is, from the Bucks.
Nobody would say that. Not yet. He doesn't.
Somebody did say that to me.
I don't know who said that, but he was an idiot.
I just laughed.
See, but you can say, okay, Floyd's the GOAT of boxing because he was supposed of boxing. He boxes. We're supposed to box the art of not getting hit.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's fair.
but okay, so if I take Mayweather from 10 years ago and I put him up against Tyson from 10 years ago, who do you think is going to win?
Tyson would kill him.
Tyson would kill him. So, I mean, it's, again, I hate the argument of the GOAT of anything, because GOAT is the greatest of all time. How do you define that? And it goes different by everyone. I will always tell you, I define the GOAT as championships. Always, 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 always championships. And yes, you guys can guess who I consider my GOAT for the NBA.
I don't even know who that would be, to be honest with you, because you're a Bucks fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a Bucks fan, but that doesn't mean. I mean, there's.
I don't even know who your favorite. We never had this conversation, so this should be interesting.
What?
This is funny, but I was gonna say it was Glenn Robinson to you, or I'm thinking of somebody on the
Bucks.
Bucks.
Of the GOAT.
Somebody on the Bucks.
No,
yes,
no. I consider the GOAT in the NBA to be the Bill Russell.
Because he's got more rings.
He's got 11 rings. He's got rings on his toes.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Bill Russell he's got the most rings. I mean, that's why we consider Tom Brady the GOAT in football, right? Right? He has the most rings.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, but here's the deal. If every quarterback took a Tom Brady deal and every quarterback in the league, was only making $3 to $5 million, and they could put all that money into other places, would there be another guy who's a 5-time champion? It's very possible. He's
doing a spinaroonie with Booker T right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You're not going to know. Who's the GOAT in wrestling? And we all know it's Ric Flair.
I'm going to say something different because I didn't watch a whole lot of Flair, so I don't know. I'm still going with Austin, but some clowns out there would say Roman Reigns.
See, but I can argue you're Michael Jordan, Mike. I can argue Michael Jordan real super easy because LeBron beats him in every single stat.
LeBron also played in a different era.
Well, so did
Jordan.
Well, okay, but so did Bill Russell. He's got 11 rings.
Yep,
more than
true.
Jordan.
Jordan played in a different era, just like
this is why
Kobe did.
And this is why I do not like the question of the GOAT, because everybody puts it down differently. And everybody's going to say, well, comparing Jordan and comparing LeBron is two different things because they played in two different eras. That's true, but the only thing that has not changed is championships. And that's why I judge my shit on championships. Your personal stats are only so good until it comes down to one thing. How many titles do you have?
Well, let's see how LeBron does this year when he has no Kyrie Irving. If the trade, I don't know if you heard about this, the trade could be voided. So
what was the trade? It was Kyrie. I heard it was Kyrie Irving for somebody from the Celtics, right? Isaiah Thomas, right?
Thomas and Crowder, and also the Nets' first-round pick for next year, which could be first overall. But if if Thomas doesn't pass his physical, they could void the trade.
Well, sure. But the NBA could also say no.
Oh, yeah, I know. But I'm just saying I think the trade could be voided. I think it would be funny.
No, I wouldn't doubt it. But this is why I get the difficulty of GOATs. Everybody looks at the GOAT in different ways. But the reason I use titles, and everyone's like, well, I don't like titles because titles were easier to win in this era than they were in this era. But it's like, it doesn't matter. Going to the biggest dance of them all and winning it really transcends generations. Winning a title is winning a title is winning a title. Nobody can ever take that ring away from you. You've won the title. So that's why I use titles, because you could say, you know, okay, here's the thing. Somebody said Jordan's the GOAT, and we have another Jordan. JTS says Jordan was the GOAT. Well, you know, was he? Because his freaking LeBron blew his stats out of the water.
Jordan didn't have to. Jordan was on a team where he had Pippen, Kukoc, Longley, all those guys. LeBron has been on a team by himself where he had to carry his team, because if he wasn't carrying his team, they were losing.
That's fine, but this is still why I use championships.
Oh, I know, I agree, but
personal stats are only what's the old adage in sports, kids? There's the biggest adage in sports, and that is you are only as strong as your worst player. You're only as strong as your worst player. So, you know what? You're as strong as your weakest link. And that's it. So, Ori has 7 rings. Does that make him better than Jordan? I don't think so. I mean, yeah. He's been to the big dance 7 times. 7 rings, man. I mean, that's how I view it. I'm not saying you have to view it that way. You don't have to view it as I'm the greatest of all time. Well, yes, Aikman is better than Romo. We all know that. I didn't think anybody's actually arguing, is Aikman better than Romo? Yes, actually, there's a lot of quarterbacks better than Romo. But let's wrap it up here, guys. We had a blast, as always. Back in action after a little hiatus. Because Baby Wookie came. Maybe we'll bring Baby Wookie out. I don't know what my game plan is right now for future streaming. Obviously, we're doing SmackDown and Raw. All that fun stuff. Just in due time, I was supposed to have this upcoming week off. And we're going to see how that goes coming tomorrow. So I will talk to you guys later. You have a fantastic night. And bye.